Hello, my friends, and welcome back to our continued blind Let's Read 98XX Stories of the Past, Story 13, Revenge Served Cold. I hope you're all having a wonderful, amazing day today. Story 13, Revenge Served Cold. The funeral ends, and John doesn't understand why so many bad things are happening to him. Almost as if he was cursed. He remembers the same day the accident occurred, reading all the negative backlash from his Jumping Julian game that was out for a few months at that point. One in particular, written by Jason Storm, affected him the most. All this was coming against him was enough to make his blood boil with anger and hurt. John decided that he needed to take a different approach going forward. The field of technology still fascinated him, and if he could learn more about it, then he could perfect his work going forward. John applied for a job at Razai Incorporated, hoping he could learn more about the computer chips. They accepted his application, and Bob Carter invited him in the office for an interview. Greetings, Mr. Monkford, Bob said.
Mr. Carter,
John replied simply.
Now, what made you decide to work at Razai Incorporated? The brilliance of a computer chip has always fascinated me. Even the human mind is something like a computer chip.
If I'm not mistaken, you were the developer for Jumping Julian, which gained a lot of attention a few months ago.
Hey, I mean, I did, but, that was all in the past.
I see. Why don't we take 5? We can discuss more a little bit later.
It's fine with me.
You can go sit in the lobby for now. Grab a coffee if you need to.
Thank you, sir.
Bob feels a tad uncomfortable with John's presence and is unsure about hiring him. But looking at his application, he did show promise of knowing his way through the technology field. So Bob decides to give John a chance.
Jonathan Monkford, we decided to give you a chance here. Welcome to the team. Thank you, sir.
Jason D. Storm will be your trainer for the first couple of weeks to get you adjusted. He's one of our finest workers here. He'll learn a lot. As soon as John hears that name,
he feels an urge of rage in his heart. I'll do my best, sir.
The first day on the job, John and Jason are scheduled to work on the project in the warehouse. John sneaks in there first and finds an area that isn't seen by security cameras and waits for Jason to show up.
I'll show that scumbag what happens to Loudmouse.
John, where are you? Jason inquires. Suddenly, John sneaks up behind him and forces a toxic rag over his face, killing him instantly. John then forces the body inside a bag and throws it in the back of his truck without anyone seeing. John also was able to steal many of Razai's chips. He was smarter than anyone realized. The employers were looking for Jason, but there was no trace of him anywhere, even calling his family, but to no avail. The alarm went off and a search was started, but he could not be found anywhere. Jason's family panicked and prayed that someday he would be found. Jason's wife investigated that John was behind this, as he suspiciously didn't show up for work, but was scheduled to work with Jason the same day. Bob agreed that he should be let go immediately, but decided to visit John to question him. Back at John's home, he heard the 98XX calling him and telling him to install the stolen computer chips and lay the body over the computer. He assumed this was the relic talking inside to him again. Once he did so, the screen flashed, and he booted up the computer, and sure enough, it was a brand new build of jumping Julian. But this time, Julian was not acting like himself. Julian was speaking to him, saying he would do what his master wishes. John couldn't believe it. This relic not only brought people back from the dead into a digital form, but gave him control over that person. Suddenly, he realized how much power he was given.
I have found the meaning of life,
John exclaimed. Although interrupted suddenly, a knock is heard at the door. John quickly disposes of the body when no one could find it and opens the door.
Hello, John. Did you know that today was your first day on the job?
Bob asked.
I didn't recall. Your employees must have forgotten to call or something.
I don't think so. But that's not why I'm here.
What brings you here, then?
It's the disappearance of a Jason Storm. You're a suspect, and I need answers.
Well, how could I know anything about him? I wasn't even there. Go check the camera footage. I bet there's nothing on them.
We did, and there was nothing.
Well, then I guess your work here is, done.
I may not be able to convict you, but you're terminated.
What?
You heard me. There's something clearly off about you. I don't know what it is, but I'm not taking any chances. I should have never hired you to begin with.
But you can't do this to me.
I just did. Good day to you. Bob closes the door and leaves John boiling with anger once again.
Well, so that's how it's gonna be, huh? Well, mess with the bull, get the horns.
The end. For now. This was our continued blind let's read of 98XX Stories of the Past, Story 13, Revenge Served Cold. Coming next time, Story 14, Death Isn't Far from the Rope. My name is FlightlessBird. This is your story-based gaming channel. And if you like what we do here, don't forget to hit that thumbs up to like the video and subscribe. There is a total of 25 stories, and we are over halfway. I will hope to see you again next time. Have a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, awesome day. So long, and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you'd like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. But before we go, please remember that you matter, and you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always be true to yourself. Never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.